Okay, I'm coming on live right now, so it appears to be that my mic is working. So I'm going to go live in a few more minutes for real. Let's see. While we're waiting for people to come on, we are employing. All right, so everything appeared to be working, or it's supposed to be working. All right, so we are live right now, and as soon as a few more people come on here with me, I want to here with me. I want to Okay, so we're on live. Cut off the volume. Okay, so we're on live. Cut off the volume. So I'm the only one that's in. So I'm the only one that's in. All right. So now that I'm here, I came on just a few minutes early because you always have to test to see if everything is functioning, and not often everything is functioning live in the way that I'd like it to be. So, with today's topic is a little bit of Reverend Ike today. And so I'm going to type this in, and some people will join me in a second. As I said, I was coming on at 1:15 p.m. Mountain Time, but I got in a little earlier just to make sure everything is working. So today's topic for Clear Blue Radiance is according to the late Reverend Ike. So we're going to put that in, and then we're going to introduce myself and come on live, or I should say, everyone else will be here with me. And this is an interesting subject. Some of the things I will take from his book, because there is actually a preview portion that I want to make reference to kind of couch this, which is important to state so that this is not just floating out there by itself. And I'm also happy to see that a lot of people, whether they're in the New Thought community movement or just in quote unquote New Age or other spiritual communities, metaphysical communities, that people are seeing the value of the late Reverend Ike's material. Now, I'm here at Resonant Essentials. I'm broadcasting through Resonant Essentials YouTube channel. Many of you may not know that since last year, sometime, I believe in October, Resonant Essentials is now a nonprofit organization, which means we're out here doing what we need to do We're reaching as many people as we can reach, not just in the Albuquerque area, the city of Albuquerque, but beyond. We have already have teachers that came from across the pond. That was the trans medium individual woman known as Audrey Wilson and her friend Cheryl Chessman, and they were here in, I believe it was April, toward the end of April. Yeah, they were here toward the end of April of this year for a few weeks, and they taught what they knew about trans mediumship, and trans mediumship. Um, that's what Audrey taught, and she also demonstrated. And we also had her colleague, Shirley Chessman, who was doing drawings. So she would pick up people's guides, spirit guides that were around them, either as a family member or across cultural um, lines. And she would draw them very, very accurately. Um, I didn't get a chance to sit in on one of the classes, but I sat in on one of the galleries, and I can tell you that the both of them together are like a true team. They work hand in hand together. So Shirley would draw, and then Audrey would also give additional information. Shirley also gave information, but Audrey would chime in and back that up with her information. Um, Many of you may not know that coming up toward the end of August of 2024, there will be three of the 13 grandmothers who are Maori women, and I think Aztec. They will be here toward the end of August. So you should go online right now. You should go online to Resident Essentials page. In fact, I'm going to bring it up myself, the Resident Essentials website page, and you will be able to see, or when you go on, you will be able to see the calendar, dates, things that are happening that you want to be up on. So I'm on it myself, and I'm just going to read it straight off, and then I'm going to come on. First of all, you need to know that Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics is located at 2703 Broad Bent Parkway Northeast, Suite J. That's Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, located at 2703 Broadbent Parkway Northeast, Suite J. Now, when you go on there, and if you need any kind of information, all you need to do is call 505 453 7643. That's if you need additional information about featured events. Be sure to call that number 505 453 7646. Well, here's some of the things that are going on. We've had some things already happen in the month of July. I hope you were able to take advantage of them. Let's see. We have a psychic fair that is comes up every second Sunday every month. We have one coming up on August the 14th. Excuse me, August the 11th. There's one coming up on Sunday, August of this month, in 13 days. On Sunday, August the 11th, we will have people doing astrology, psychic medium, direct readings, spiritual counseling, tarot and oracle cards, or readings, numerology, energy healing, and there will be vendors on hand. Admission is free from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now, here's the thing you need to know. Don't come right at 5 p.m. because at 5 p.m. is when we start to close down. So if you want to get a consultation in, I advise you show up by 4 p.m. Usually there's some Sundays where we have a lot some going on. Sometimes we're just a little low. But come as early as you can. The doors are open to you at 12 p.m. I'm going to be there myself. I do numerology insight readings for people. I've been a numerologist since 1974. Uh, I can give you what I call the angle of grace reading. Okay, you can also get a celestial I am drawing using colored pencils. I don't draw you, I draw what I see and hear in your auric field, and I put in the drawing in words, colors, symbols, numbers, you name it. But you get a personalized reading at the same time. So you need to come to that event, free admission. Usually it's people are doing $30 for 20 minutes. I do mine slightly different, but I give the celestial I am drawings, and they you can get them for I think I have myself listed for 40 or 45, but you can email me directly, which is iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com, and I'll give you more definitive information. Well, there has been a 14-week course that already began called Unlocking Wisdom Together, Your Journey to Metaphysical Truths. And that's a copyrighted course title that started on July the 17th, which was a Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. for $589 with Michelle Vidal, who's had over 50 years experience in the study of metaphysics. She also, with that particular course, now that has been already 2 weeks ongoing. If you're unable to get into that, if she's not admitting any more people, this is taught at 2703 Broadbent Parkway Northeast. She started an 8 week course that began on Sunday for 269. It began on Sunday, July 21st, so it's already in motion, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., called Intuitive Explosion. So these courses are already going, but you need to call that phone number. The 453-7646, I believe, is the number. You need to call that number. Here it is again, 505-453-7646, to find out if you can still enroll in her two courses. Okay, one was on Wednesday night already in motion, the other one started on a Sunday night. This is what you really need to also be aware of. We just had on Saturday, July 20th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for $35. There was a workshop given by Andrea Shensky Williams called Group Breath Work with Andrea. And that's all about deep breathing and releasing anxieties and so forth. Do you know that we have an Albuquerque astrology group that meets usually once a month, but we also have Albuquerque Astrology Group, and it meets once a month at the same address. Um, with the person is Johanna Radar, and usually sometimes she has some guests. So that meets one Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. You need to find out how to be a part of her Albuquerque astrology group here in Albuquerque. Let's see what else is going on before I start talking. Many things have gone and went. But what you need to do is come to the website to catch up to see what is going on so you can learn what you need to learn. So you need to come to www.resonantessentials.com. What you also need to do is email Michelle Vidal, email her at Michelle at Resonant, ResonantEntentials.com. If you email her there, she will get you on her mailing list, her email list, so you can see what's going on month to month to month. Okay, that will be very important for you to do that. So you can see what kind of workshops are going on. Usually on the third Saturday, sometimes we have had the Institute of Noetic Sciences. So you need to get on the email list so you can have an update of what's going on, especially if you're living here in Albuquerque or Los Lunas or up in Santa Fe and you want to get this information, you want to show up, at these events. I'm there every Saturday morning from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for just $10 for the hour. I teach you all about meditation. I've had over 53 years of experience. I still teach it online. I can do on person there at the location. And so you just need to call and get the information. Anything Resident Essentials, call 505-453-7646. Usually Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. I think she has herself out there from about 10 a.m. to or 9 a.m. up to about 6 p.m. I know for sure Mondays through Fridays you give that call. Email at Michelle at resonantessentials.com. Woo! All right, let me get back to myself, okay? And this is important because this is an important topic anyway. And the reason why I say it's important because it is, folks. We have to put things in motion for ourselves. In order to put things in motion for ourselves, we got to learn how to do these things. So, before I jump off into that, and we're recording live, I see someone press the like button. So, this is what I want you to know. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I am the original podcast host for Clear Blue Radiance here on Resident Essentials YouTube channel. Now, I'm here normally, usually, I took last Thursday off to take a break. I've done about 171 podcasts over past three and a half years almost now. I had it listed under a different title, but then I had to change it. So it's now called Clear Blue Radiance. And I'm that host, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been into metaphysics for over 45 years. This is something that I enjoy doing and teaching and sharing. My job is to help you gain greater clarity in your own life and to help you define what your purpose is now in life. Our purpose changes as we change. Sometimes we get off the path of the things that we want to do in life for ourselves. We do it all the time. We are constantly getting offline, so to speak. Why? The social media gets flooded. There's a lot of negativity and a lot of positivity. You can get overwhelmed by either one. The thing is, sometimes we do need self care. We do need to take care of ourselves. So, what I want you to begin to realize is that you have this opportunity, this golden opportunity to be able to understand who you are and where you are headed. And this is essential. So, I want you to understand this, realize this, and allow yourself to participate. And of course, you can do these things in different ways. Now, here's something else you want to be able to realize is that Nowadays, we all have an opportunity to stretch out and do something better, to stretch out and do something that will help improve the world. Because it's all about improvement, right? We want to be able to help people have success in their lives as well, not just ourselves, but others as well. So, what we want to be able to do is to reach out into this world to help other people become successful. So, you might think, what are you doing to be successful? Is there anything you need to do to be successful? So, you want to make sure that you can do that. So, how do we go about doing such? Okay, so there was something I was going to do. I'm going to have to do it another way. As I'm talking here, what I want people to realize is that they do have opportunities. All of us do. We just have to find a way to get it out there to the public. We have to find our audience. And in doing so, we should look at various teachings. There are loads of teachings that we could latch on to, but also make sure that these teachings are helpful, not only to yourself, but to other people. Make sure that the teachings are uplifting, because that's important. So today's date is Thursday, August the 1st. We're already in August. Wow. This is, next week they're going to have this thing called the Lions Gate 888, right? Year 2024 is an 8. August is the eighth month. Then you have the eighth day, so it should be pretty potent. Well, the reason why I'm on here for this is because I want us all to begin to understand that we play an important role in advancing society, whether we see ourselves as a healer, sound healer, qigong healer, or qigong healer, healer through massage, chiropractic work, healer through cranial network, working with the brain, or dealing with emotions, dealing with the psychological processes. We have this opportunity to impact the world around us, to impact our environment. And how are we going about doing that? As I say, there's so many things that we can choose from, just like when you go to shop for new clothes or you go grocery shopping for your family. There are many ways in which you can begin to impact the world that you are in. All right. And this is something that we all are striving to do. We're striving to have a better world for our families, a better world for our loved ones, for our friends, for our business associates, for our neighbors, and so forth. Now, our lives are always changing. They change moment to moment, day to day, week to week, hours, minutes, months, because of our environments and what we're holding on the inside of us all the time. We're seeking somehow to let those things go, to let the old things that are holding us back. I remember talking to someone over the last couple of weeks, and they were saying, "Well, how do you let these things go?" Well, first of all, I'll let you know I'm just like you. I'm in human form. I have not mastered everything yet with myself, but I am seeking to do better. In order to do better, you got to go inside yourself to find out what it is that you truly desire to have in your life, want in your life. And Reverend Ike was a good teacher of those things. That's why this is kind of built on his teaching, things that he came up with. Now people think, oh, he's what's the word? Heretic. Oh, he's a fun. What people don't know is Reverend Ike. That's his book put together by his son and one of his students that he mentored. What they didn't know is Reverend Ike wasn't born wealthy. So that's what they think the man was born wealthy and he was out there being a shyster. No, the man was born dirt poor. He didn't have any money. His mom and dad were poor. His father was a minister. His mother was a teacher, and his father left his mother. And he was the only child. So he grew up without anything, but he worked at coming into being somebody. He ran across various teachings that were beyond this quote unquote Christian realm of what was being presented and was able to latch on and utilize those teachings that he learned. He studied some of the works of Neville Goddard. He studied some of the works of Ernest Holmes. He had to, because all of these things were there. And he began, or I should say, excuse me, he began to change the things that he saw in that Bible and put it more into a metaphysical statement where people every day could utilize it and not feel lost. Now, yeah, I've been through ministry in my own way. I don't use the Bible per se. I don't use the Quran. I use what works. And everything that we come across does not always work. Everything that I have may not work for you. So we all have to find something that works for ourselves, that teaches us or allows us, once we understand the principles, allows us to do what? Move forward, move upward. And we have to be aware of what we put into our mind. That's very, very important. Always be aware what you place into your mind. He used to say, are you imprisoned by circumstances? In other words, what you see going on in the world, is that holding you back? We might think right away, is racism holding us back? Prejudice is holding us back? Criticism holding us back? Not having any money holding us back? Not having any shelter holding us back? Not having any proper nourishment, is that holding us back? It could be a compilation of many things that is holding us back. Is it excuses that we give to ourselves that is holding us back? Is it other people who we depend on who may not have our heart in their heart? Are they holding us back? Are we giving people unjust rulership or power over ourselves? Is that holding us back? It could be a whole lot of things. So, one of the things he wanted to always say to create the sweetness in your own life, to begin to attract things into your own life. He used to say, picture what you want, visualize what you want. You got to have a better self image of yourself. You have to know who you are. You have to realize that you are connected to a greater force outside of yourself that is also inside of yourself. He used to always put that forward too, because you have to know what's inside of you. He said, you got to make a decision. One of his chapters was called Chapter 9 for week 9. It was called Decisions, Decisions, Decisions. And he used to say, you have to be pacific And you got to be clear, be specific, and be clear about what it is that you desire. And he would split that concept about being specific and being clear into four basic steps. And these are the four basic steps to making good decision making in your life. So he would say the first step is decide on exactly what you want. If you could decide on what you want, that's the first ticket. He said, you have to be sure that's what you want. You know, we might want something that your neighbor has. It's people I'm living in there, people live in $1 million houses. But guess what? When I meet some of those people, they have problems. They have issues just like I have. They might have X amount of dollars to have their lawn manicured, front and backyard. They might have enough money for people to clean their home for them, or maybe they get into cleaning their home for themselves, cleaning their car. Maybe, in other words, when sometimes when you look at the neighbor, if you can see, if you can be around neighborhoods with their $1 million homes, are they cleaning that by themselves? No. They're in a position to live in it, pay the mortgage, pay the light bill, pay the water bill. Maybe they have school tax to pay. The maintenance and upkeep, they have somebody do that. They pay for that. Beyond that, they have other things going on there in their mind that they're worried about because they're trying to maintain that. So they got to figure out how to make more money so that they don't run out of money maintaining that. You have to not only decide what you want, you have to define the answer. If you're going to decide, he gives as an example, to have more money in your life, because that's what you want. He said you got to be able to figure out what that means to you. He would say, look deep down in your heart. Can you recall early dreams that you left behind because they seemed impossible? Can you recall other people talking to you out of the good desires of your heart? He said, don't hold back. Decide what it is that you want. Decide what it is that you want to have. Say to yourself, I decide to be happy. I decide to be healthy. I decide to love and be loved. I decide to be successful and prosperous. If you can define, that's definitions for yourself. You want to be successful, you want to be have love and be loved, you want to be prosperous in your life, you want to be happy, you want to be healthy. So how many things is that? That's about five things. He said now, once you decide that, wholeheartedly decide that, you got to believe in the answer that you're going to achieve it. He says, now he was using the Bible. He said, Mark 11:24. He says, whatever things you desire when you pray, believe that you will receive them and you will have them. Well, why did he use that? Because the people he was talking to were studying along the path of Christianity. And therefore, the Bible was the book. But if you take that out of there and put it more to what's in you, to understand that that which is supreme, the universe is infinite. The universe can reflect back to you what you give it in thoughts, in feelings. That's why he used to say, let the feeling get the blessing. Why? Because you are putting out something and you're expecting it to return to you 100 times over, 1,000 times over, 10,000 times over, 100,000 times over. You are expecting greetings, Jackie. You're expecting things to come back in the overflow with increase and overflow. So Reverend Ike wasn't talking about limitations. He's talking about infinity and overflow and increase. He's not talking about doubt. He said if there's something that you want, you can't doubt that you cannot get it. He said if you're believing in a God in the sky and a pie in the sky, he said that's not going to work. You have to put the belief inside. He says you got to understand that the God that you're seeking is unlimited and the God is your unfailing supply because it exists in you. That's why you're able to breathe. The higher consciousness is in you. Divine consciousness lives in you. Divine consciousness is being expressed through you. You are hosting the divine consciousness. And when you're hosting the infinite, then you yourself have to do something with the inside of you. And you have to begin to show it on the outside of you. What he's saying, I give you a living example. A person cannot be angry and express love. A person cannot be upset with what they have or what people are doing to them and then go forth and express love. They have to be able to express that love. For whom? Themselves first. If you can express that love for yourself first, then it'll happen. Here's another thing he used to say because once you believe in the answer is inside yourself, he said, don't ask how it's going to show up. He said, the universe takes care of the how factor. The universe is the God, the infinite force. That takes care of the how factor. You don't have to be concerned with how it's going to work. Just know that it's going to work. This is why I tell people you don't have to be perfect at what you do, but you do have to show up. I was just watching some of the things about the Olympics, and a former U.S. Olympian was trying to discredit the people that are there now. This former USA gymnast, gold medalist herself, or probably silver medalist, had the nerve to say that the team that's there now, Charles, Lee, and especially Simone Biles, trying to say these people didn't work hard. What? There's plenty of documentaries about Simone Biles coming into becoming a gymnast and training, going all out to come to that level, to be the top of her field, and how she's changing how gymnastics is to be. Why? Because she's selecting moves. She has signature moves, but she's taking other moves and making it more difficult for herself, let alone competition, let alone teammates. But here was this person who's no longer an Olympic champion dissing the ones who earned the right to be there. I even heard someone say, and this all goes along with my topic for today. I heard someone online, I read it. The person said, "Oh, they're making too much about Simone Biles. Why don't she step down and let somebody else have a chance?" What? You're telling someone who is trained most of their lives since she was a little girl, 8, 4, maybe, yeah, probably close to 8, maybe 5 years of age. Simone Biles, who's now 27. Huh? You're going to tell somebody who's been working the craft for over 22 years that they should step down and give someone else a try. No, everybody that's in that position trained hard to get to that position. What people don't understand is that these athletes who are now professional tennis players, football players, baseball players, hockey players, soccer players, basketball players, track and field, gymnastics. What they don't understand is these people have been training their entire lives. Doesn't matter whether they're amateur or pro, they've been training their entire lives to get into competition, to get into being a world leader in their sport, to be able to get there and stay there consistently. Here's someone, a perfect example. Shakari Richardson from Texas. Now, she missed the trip to Tokyo because she told people, okay, I think it was her mother that passed away or her grandmother. I think it's the mother that passed away. She was depressed and she smoked some weed. They blew up on her. Well, if you smoke some weed now, you can't run. And there's other people who've done worse. They've let run. Other people who have done worse things, they let them try out just the same. So she had to live with that for 4 years, couldn't get to Tokyo, but she didn't stop. She owed it to herself to make whatever changes that she needed to make and where she needed to improve. So when she started the following year, when she went from, this is 2024, so she missed Tokyo 2020. When she started getting back in the groove of things, 2021. Nobody really paid much attention. 2022. Nobody paid attention. 2023. People start paying attention. And what was her signature phrase? I'm not back. I am better. And now she's proving it to the world. She's beaten the best Jamaican female track people in the 100-meter dash. And she ran in the toughest lane, the lane where you can't see nobody when you're on the track, unless you turn your head. The same happened with, I think, in 2019 with Usain Bolt when he was getting ready to retire in one of the events that he was running in. What's this American? I could see his face, Gatlin, and they booed him. Oh, he was supposedly on drugs, so he had to go through a suspension. But there's before him numerous people on drugs nobody talks about. Even the Jamaicans didn't talk about their athletes on drugs a long time ago running for other countries. Didn't bring that out. But Gatlin beat him by a couple of seconds. Beat Usain Bolt. And what I liked was Usain Bolt, when Gatlin was asked, well, how do you handle all this stuff with the drugs? Bolt took over the question. He says, you reporters, you're always thinking about what's not working. You're always bringing up somebody's past. Hey, well, the man, good, bad, or indifferent, the man served the time. Leave him alone. He's back. He's one of the best. He's my friend. He's one of the best. People thought, oh, Gatlin is training Shakari Richardson. No, he was one of the trainers. But it doesn't matter. Shakari brought herself back. Now she's considered one of the fastest female athletes at the 100-meter dash. People don't like Noah Lyles. He grew up having asthma. He still has to take an inhaler every now and then when he's not running. He's at the top of his game. So if you want something, you want it bad enough, you'll work to get it done. You will have to separate yourself from other people in order to get it done. I've had people approach me indirectly. Hey, how do you do what you do? Don't you ever take a break? The best don't take a break. The breaths will slow down. We'll go into a little recess mode, but we never stop something that we enjoy doing. I'm like many of the athletes. I'm not trying to be the best to you. I'm just being the best to me. I'm not competing with other metaphysical, spiritual, occult people here in this entire state. I'm only competing with who I am to be better at what I do so I could present the teaching in a clear process. That's why I write books. I understand I'm a writer. I'm presenting material that people can use. It may not fit everybody, but it's going to fit some of a lot of people. And I enjoy seeing it fit a lot of people. So here's the kicker. See, Reverend Ike said in the beginning of his book, you got to make a decision. You got to decide what it is. You got to define the answer. In other words, you got to understand, well, what do you want it for? Okay, once you get that in your soul, what you want something for, then it's going to get what? Better, right? Then you got to do what? You got to believe you can attain it. You got to believe in it now. And he says the fourth reason is that don't ask. Don't ask how. Once you believe in it, you don't have to ask where it's coming from. You just believe. He says believe wholeheartedly and put your emotions into it. What? He said then the miracles are for you. And what you're supposed to get will get. That's why you got all these memes out here. People saying, "Well, you ain't got to track nothing down." They're right. You don't have to track a thing down. Why? Because it's coming for you. If it is meant for you to have, you will have. Well, one of the things he said along with that to be, to do, to have, to decide what you want, to believe in it, that you could have it, all right? Don't worry about where it came from. Just know that you're going to have it. Decide what it is, define what it is, describe what it is, believe that you can get it. Don't worry about how you're going to get it. The universe, because you've laid it, rested with the universe. When people said, I've done all I can do, I'm going to hand it over to God. That's the same thing. You're entrusting the universe, which is really an extension of yourself, to bring it back to you. What's the other key element? You must picture it, you must see it. Now he says you got to put yourself in the picture. You have to visualize it, see with your mind's eye. You got to come through here. Now, people say, well, how do I come through here? You got to put this into it, your heart into it. So you have to visualize success happening to you. You have to visualize, like if I want to drop weight, it's not just eating the right foods. It's not just eating the right foods. It's just not getting the rest that I need. Well, now I'm out there getting the rest. It's not just getting the rest, huh? It's not just exercising. What is the fourth thing? Envision myself, visualize myself doing all those things, visualize myself in the end result, and know that whatever I'm seeding into the universe, I'm going to see it. If I can seed it, if I can plant it, I can see it. If I see it, I will receive it. He said, you got to plant the seed. You got to become that which you're planting. You're planting yourself in the richness of the soil of your own mind. You're taking into consideration what it is that you desire. How much do you desire it? How much do you want that which you desire to be a part of your life? Can you make it happen? Yes, you can. Why? Because you thought about it. Reverend Ike used to use some phrases like this: if you could think it up, you could think it down. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. If you could think it up, you could think it down. Inch by inch is a cinch. In other words, you can capture it inch by inch, moment to moment. You can enjoy it. Why? It is always the journey, not necessarily end result. So, what you do during the journey also magnetizes the event to happen in your life. How do you magnetize the event to happen in your life? You get excited about it. You remember when you were a child, you wanted some dolls. Do you imagine when you were a child, you wanted a Schwinn bike? You imagine when you were a child, you wanted a guitar, drum set, you name it, trumpet, trombone, saxophone, you name it. You wanted to be able to play a violin. Hopefully, your parents saved money and you had your own violin. But all schools provided violins. So you didn't have to have your own. You just had to take the violin at school and bring it home to practice and bring it back to school to practice. But you might have been good enough where you had a parent got you a violin at home. So you could use the violin that's part of the orchestra at the school, but you can go home and practice on your own violin. Students had to play a piano, couldn't bring a big old piano home, but they had to practice on a makeshift keyboard. And then it got easier, it got electronic keyboards. So now at home, you can still practice. It's all about who we are on the inside anyway. So we have to be able to visualize, because the more we can visualize, the more of the opportunity we can see it be fulfilled. But along with visualizations that will help you are affirmations. An affirmation is making a statement of something that is already true and then repeating it so that you get it into your mindset and into your heart that what you're repeating is the truth. You're making it firm by repeating it over and over, doing it for 21 days, several times a day for 21 days. That clears out the old stuff. And then the next 19 days coming in, that leads you up to day 40. Now the new thing is becoming solidified in your life. These concepts, these things that we always want to accomplish, we have to see ourselves. Can you envision yourself in the driver's seat of life, your life? Where my good friend Lloyd Strayhorn was doing out there, he's been out there the longest, over 50 years, perhaps doing what he's doing. But can you imagine being in that area, being in that arena, teaching? How did he get? How did he get to become a world renowned astronumerologist? Because a lot of other people, not counting his students, a lot of other people out there say they're astronumerologists, but they weren't calling themselves that. Lloyd was the only one that called himself that. See, that's interesting. But people ask me, "Well, you're a reverend." Nah, I don't like to use the title reverend. It's in my name, but I don't like to use the title reverend. I just like brother. It's easier, it's more comfortable, and it's non-threatening to people who have an issue with religions. But people ask me, what is your ministry? And I've come to the realization, I follow what my ancestors have told me. Tell me your ministry is meditation. And attached to meditation, your ministry is numerology. And your ministry is understanding dreams and interpreting dreams. And your ministry is understanding tarot cards and how they work and interpreting those cards. And your ministry is meditation, out of body experience. You teach these things. Ministry is something that you are living. And administer gives it to you. So the whole concept here, according to the late Reverend Ike, to be, do, and have, you must also visualize what you desire. To visualize means to picture it in your mind, to be able to see it in your brain. Your brain is putting out all of this information. all the time, repetitively. You've got to see a clear cut image within yourself so that it helps you to what? Receive those desires. It helps you to attract those things. Why? Because you are consciously painting a picture, a clear picture. Now, you keep repeating that picture in your mind. Then you keep seeing yourself inside the picture, being a part of the picture. But guess what? You still got to be joyful. I know some people that got big houses out here and they brag, oh, look at me, I got a big house, but they're not happy in the house. Why? Because they tired of walking up and down stairs. How do you envision something that you want to have and now you're tired of it? That means you're not enjoying it. Well, I got it because I invite a whole lot of people. When and where? I don't see no people over there. You know why? Because you can't get nobody to help you clean up your own house. That's what happens a lot of times. People invite other people. They want to help them clean up. I just went to a client's house. They didn't tell me clean up their house. They didn't tell me to clean their garage. They didn't tell me to clean their front yard. They didn't tell me to clean their backyard. They invited me over to do something for them. They didn't turn around and tell me help me clean my yard or clean my yard. That's their that's their house. That's their property. I tell you, over the years, they've done a great job. One of their oldest son is married. The youngest son is not married. Hey, but they've done a great job doing what they do there. They built a garage that they didn't have. Now they have a garage. The garage is a two-car garage, but they've acquired different vehicles that they can use at any time. They got a better fence for their yard, brick with a sliding gate, beautiful. They fixed up their home accordingly. That home looks like it's a small home, but it's a mansion. They have everything imaginable that you can imagine in there, and it's comfortable. Why? Because they have worked it to a degree of perfection for themselves. And what else? They're living in the present moment at all times. They're living in the present moment. You turn up on their block, you don't even know what's in their house until you get behind that gate. Then you can see what's in their house. You can see how their property is laid out. It's comfortable. But these are people that enjoy their house. There's some people that have big pieces of property and can't enjoy the house. Why? Because they can't brag about the house. If they're in the bragging stage, nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be there seeing that person brag about their house. But that person says they're enjoying the house. Yeah, they got a big old house. Big deal, but they ain't happy. You got to be happy. You got to enjoy a location and be happy with the location. Then I can say, "Oh, this is a nice big old spread," because you're happy with it. Now, some people say, "Well, brother Fred, you don't have a big spread." Yeah, but guess what? This energy that looks to be small, this energy's got more energy in it than somebody with almost 4,000 square feet. But it's not the material thing. It's not the physical thing. It's the energy laid out in the physical thing. I've seen people go into big houses and not be happy. Something off with that house. I don't know. Yeah, it looks pretty. Yeah, it looks big. Something's wrong. And people figure it out. It's not the place, it's the people in the place. You have to visualize what you want. Reverend Ike says, let the feeling get the blessing. So you can physically get it, yeah. But guess what? Now, can you make that thing vibrate with love? Can you talk to the spirit of the house? Love. Can you talk to the spirit of the land? Love. See, there's a key to everything. And again, it ain't how big it is, it ain't how big the cars are, it ain't how fancy the cars are. Because when certain people ain't around, that energy dwindles. Interesting. What I'm telling you to do is you must visualize what you want. You must see it. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Is it comfortable? If it's comfortable, it's fine. If it's comfortable, it is fine. Does it bring joy? It is fine. Does it overflow with joy and happiness? Is it fine? Then it's fine. It must have an increase of energy. It must overflow with energy. It must overflow with positivity. If it ain't overflowing with positivity in every nook, cranny, and corner, it's not what it's supposed to be. So, people that are tuned into this today, if you come back and replay this message today, the message is not only must know what it is that you want, you gotta desire it wholeheartedly. You gotta be happy about it. You gotta be joyful about it. It's gotta be healthy for you, and you gotta be able to visualize that thing in the place. And that goes for anything. You must visualize. You must see it wholeheartedly, and it must be in the state of overflow. And that doesn't mean use somebody else to get it. That means use your energy to get it, not someone else to get it. Use your energy to get it. So, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, and I hope I'm not. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. Thank you for tuning in to Clear Blue Radiance. Okay, and tonight is my first Thursday evening workshop that takes off, I think, at 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I believe it is. Let me pull out my folder, one of my folders. Uh, I think I always have it listed. Hold on. I don't have a specific topic. I think the topic of this particular month might be, yeah, it's for this Thursday, August the 1st, from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. to about 8 p.m. Mountain Time, or from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, it's Indigo Moon. On here with Jackie. Yes, check out this replay. I was on it for a little over an hour. Um, I have first monthly workshop, first Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't even remember what the topic is. Many of you know that's a paid workshop, but all of you who have taken at least two courses with me and other workshops and other situations, you get it for half price. Which many of you students on here right now, you get it for 47. That's for tonight. I'll probably talk about the heart, or I'll talk about the higher self, or I may talk about how to tie in these different metaphysical and spiritual concepts. Okay, I'll be on, should be on next Thursday, teaching full blast. Not next Thursday, but you know what I mean. I got so much going on, I'm getting confused. For those of you that are in my 13-week course on Radiant Heart, and for people who may tune into later, like Indigo Moon is on now, I'm going to be teaching next year. I will be teaching for those people who didn't get a chance to jump in on Radiant Heart this time around, because I kicked it off on Wednesday, July the 24th, and it runs through October the 16th on these Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. Next year, I will start it again, might run two courses side by side. So we will have the numerology course will kick out on a Wednesday, probably the first or second Wednesday in February. Of 2025, we'll start the numerology course, and Radiant Heart, I will start it probably in February, maybe the middle in February. I will have it on a Tuesday night, and that's what I plan on doing. So Tuesday nights in February, more than likely, or March, I will start off with Radiant Heart again for 13 weeks online. I'm finding out it's a relatively very easy course to teach. I'm going to try to put together some workshops on it as well on different parts of the book so that people have some introductory material. And I won't make the workshops too highfalutin in fees. It'll be something that you can jump on and add it to your collection. Again, numerology next year, 13 weeks will kick off in February, or I might stretch it out to 14 or 16 weeks because numerology is a big topic. And then, of course, there is Radiant Heart. I will kick that off either in February sometime or the beginning of March, but it'll be on a Tuesday night. So you got these courses running in tandem. And guess what I'm going to do for people who want to repeat the numerology, or if you're taking Radiant Heart repeated, you will get a special discount. And I mean special. So we're going to work some things out. We'll probably have some other course materials set up to be taught. So stay in touch with me as much as you can. Again, tonight is the $47 fee for all of you that are regular students, and I consider all of you online with me right now are regulars. So that'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, just $47. Pay it whenever you want to. We're going to go into a specific topic. I haven't decided. I think it's supposed to be about the heart, or remembrance is the key. But I think I might twist this thing up into crystals. I'm feeling like crystals might be the topic. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back here next Thursday for Clear Blue Radiance. Supposed to come on at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, but I was pressed to try to get it out, so I came on at 1:15 p.m. Mountain Time. I just got to get this stuff out. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, you're a blessing too. Indigo Moon, you're a blessing also. Thank you. I'll keep everybody informed with some, material. Because usually once you pay in, to a lot of these things, I send the videos out to people anyway. So we'll see. I think Miss Barbara might pop on. I think she pops on this Thursday night with me. Anyway, everybody take care of yourself. If it's warm and muggy, stay hydrated. Enjoy your families. I'm going to see what my nieces and nephews are talking about right now. So I'm going to sign off until next time. Remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday, right here at 1 p.m. Mountain for Resonant Essentials and for my podcast called Clear Blue Radiance. Let me put some hearts on here. My own hearts, right? Now I'm going to sign off myself. Take care.